Hey guys, it's JD from Ponzo World, and today we are unboxing and reviewing this OBD2 scanner made by Ainope. Now you can find this OBD scanner on Amazon, links will be in the description below. And this thing is $21, so quite a cheap price for an OBD scanner. Now you could use this OBD scanner on multiple apps on both the App Store, Apple App Store, and the Google Play Store. And so basically whatever OBD scanning app that you want to use, well, you could use it with this, as long as it's not one, for example, Fixed is the one that I normally use on a fixed OBD scanner. But this one, you just simply put in OBD scanner on like the App Store, something like that, and pretty much the first few that'll pull up will work with a bunch of OBD scanners, including this one. That's what I did, and I will only be using one of the apps in this video. Obviously, I don't have time to try out, the 20 that are on the App Store. But depending on what app you use will depend on your user experience. I'm using a free one, which will be linked down in the description below. So let's go ahead and just show you around the box. So here it is, and you can see that this is the actual device right here. So there you go, OBD2 Diagnostic interference on the side here. Some things if you want to contact them, there you go. The name, the model, stuff like that. Then on the back here, we have a QR code. So if you want to go ahead and see how to set this thing up and the recommended app, stuff like that, just scan this whenever you get the item, and it will bring you to a website, or you can just go to that website right there and you can go in and see what you need to do to make this thing work. See here, iOS, Android, and Windows, so that's very good. Works with a bunch of different operating systems. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this thing. Oh, well, before we do that, there's the label, in case you're wondering. So let's go ahead and open it. So judging by the weight, there's not much to this. Oops. Anyways, okay, so there it is, and then the only other thing in here is a little, well, I was gonna say an instruction sheet, but no, this is like if it breaks, something like that. There you go. On the back here, enjoy your smart life. Let's go and take this out, and okay, this thing is really tiny. That's very nice. So what I'll be doing with this is that I'll mainly just be leaving it in my car. So for example, when I'm driving or something, if a light comes on the dashboard, something like that, I'll just plug this in, go on the app, and it'll tell me the trouble codes, which I will in turn look up. So very nice so far. Very cool. It's very little, obviously. This just simply plugs into the OBD port, and that's about it. Have a button on the front to turn it on and off, obviously. So there you go. I guess what I'll go in and do now is plug this into my car, which is a 96 Jeep Cherokee, in case you're wondering. So if it works with my car, which I can already tell you it does, I tried this thing out and then I completely just boxed it back up the way it came. I did test this thing out before, and it did work. So if you have a car 96 or above, it'll definitely work. I believe it also works on cars before 96. Basically, if you have an OBD port, this will most likely work. But once again, if it works on 96 Cherokee, it definitely works on everything 96 and above. So let's go ahead and plug this thing in and see what it can do. Alright, so here's the OBD scanner, and sorry for the decrease in audio and video quality. I'm now recording with a different phone than this one because this one has the actual app on it to work with this. So here's my 96 Cherokee. If you've been following the rebuild project on this, you would know it's an absolute mess right now. This is still obviously a work in progress. Carpet's out of it. It looks absolutely horrible right now, but I'm working on completing it. Anyways, so here's the OBD scanner again, and let's go ahead and plug it in. So my OBD port is right underneath the dash here. Hopefully you can see it. You really can't, or nope, there it is, right there in the center of your screen with the little silver prongs on it. So your OBD port will most likely be in the same location as mine, which is right underneath the driver's side dash. So let's go ahead and plug this thing in. So you just put it right up in there. There you go. And let's go ahead and press the on button. And there you go. So now this will pair to this phone here through Bluetooth. I set it, and I'll go ahead and get into the app and show you around. Alright, so here's the app I'm using. You can see right here, Car Scanner. This is what it's called. When you actually download the device or the app on your device, it's actually just called Car Scanner. So here's what it looks like. There's the app, just in case you're wondering. So let's go ahead and open it right here. This is what it looks like. Again, you don't have to use this specific app. It'll work with a bunch of other apps. So here you go. I'll go ahead and just show you, for example. Obviously it is connected right now, as you can tell. But I'm going to click on like dashboard. And you can see here. Should update in a second. Or it might have been because I quit out of the app. It has to. There we go. Just took it a second. It didn't do that the first time, but whatever. Again, $20 OBD scanner. It's not going to be absolutely perfect. So here you go. Shows a coolant temp, stuff like that, which is, well, actually pretty just about accurate. Engine RPM, you can see here, it's not spot on like exactly when you rev it. It doesn't go very smoothly, but you can see here if I rev it here, it did go up. And if I actually, for example, on here, if I rev it just to 2000 RPM, it's pretty close on the actual app. So this is very specific. It just takes a minute to get there. You see there's the specific engine RPM I'm at. Let's go and click the next button. I haven't actually looked at this. Okay, so this is telling you voltage and stuff for O2S2. I don't know what that is, but it's obviously something to do with the computer. Let's go and click back, and you can see here, let's click on live data. Now you could do separate or combined. I'm just going to click combine for right now. And these are all the things that you can turn on and basically monitor. So there's a bunch of different things here. There you can see. So if I, for example, go to let's go ahead and go to engine RPM. I'm going to turn that on. Now you could turn on a bunch of different things and monitor them at the same time, but I just have engine RPM selected right here, or actually I had that selected too. Then I'm going to click OK, and you can see there it's basically at a graph right now. It's going up and down because obviously the engine RPM is not ever the same. It's up and down a little bit. But you can see if I rev it, it goes way up, and then I let off and it goes way down, way up, and then way down again. So that's very cool. There's a bunch of different things here that you can monitor at the same time. So I find that very cool, very helpful. Then you could go to all sensors here, and this basically shows you everything: engine coolant temperature, engine RPM, vehicle speed, air intake temperature, just a bunch of different things, which is very awesome. This thing is turning out to be very good for $20. There you go. And then diagnostic trouble codes, you can see here, you could change between different things right here. There you go. I'm just going to go to pure OBD. And now in this case, there's no check engine light, so I know it's not going to throw any codes. And you can see here, it shouldn't throw any codes. Yep. There's nothing. But obviously when you do have a check engine light or something like that, and you scan for a trouble code, it will show up. Freeze frame, I don't know what that is. That's probably just to save something, judging by the floppy disk icon. Non-continuous monitors. Don't know what that is. It's reading. Again, I don't know quite what this is. Okay, so there's that. For all of you car people out there, I'm a car person, but I don't really exactly understand what they're trying to show here. I'm sure it means something, but not to me. And then acceleration test, so you can actually time 0 to 100, 0 to 60, etc., which is it's kind of cool, I guess. So if you want to see how fast your car can do, you know, 0 to 60, something like that, you can time that on here. So that's very nice. Oh, I'm going to do that. Click back, and then you could also test emissions test. And I'm sure this means something too. I have to do something to make it show up, but I'm not exactly sure what. But you could do an emissions test and then data recording, which, yeah, okay, so I'm not going to record it, obviously, but you can do that. So that's very cool. Obviously, if you pay for an app, something like that, I'm sure you can get a bunch of different features. And again, depending on the app you use, will depend on how many features you get and what you could do. So I'm sure just within this one app, this was a free app. Again, it's not going to have all the features that a paid one will, but it's still very cool. It's very helpful, and so far this thing seems really good for $20. So what I'll go in and do now is go back downstairs and give you guys my final opinions. Alright, so just one more thing before I do that. I forgot this little thing here. There's some statistics. Couldn't say that word there. Anyways, there you go. It shows how long your car has been on for, your average speed, average fuel consumption, fuel use, stuff like that. And you could see between, let's go and see here, today all the way to 360 days, so a year. So that's very cool. You can see basically how good you're doing on fuel, stuff like that, for an entire year. So that's very helpful. Alright, so overall, what do I think of this OBD scanner? I think this thing is actually pretty good for $20. Now, for example, if you're using it like me, where I just basically put it away in like the glove box or something, and whenever a check engine light comes on, you just take this out and plug it in. I think it'll be great for that. But if you're like in a, if you're actually doing this as like a career, if you're like running a workshop or something like that, yeah, I would recommend a higher priced one, not even $100 one. I'd recommend like a professional OBD scanner. But if you're just thinking on like this cheap little one for a garage or something like that, I don't necessarily really recommend it, because you definitely won't be able to do everything that like $1,000 one would do or something like that. You're not going to be able to reprogram the computers. You're not going to be able to pair the different computers from like different cars together. You can't do all of that with this. You could do very basic stuff. For example, check all the computer systems, stuff like that. You could clear the check engine codes. You could check the check engine codes, stuff like that. And I definitely really recommend it for example, something like I'm doing. Again, if you just want to use this, every once in a while to check a computer code, something like that, I do really recommend this thing. It seems to work very well. And again, depending on the app you use, will depend on how good you like this thing. So overall, again, I do recommend it. It does seem pretty cool for $20. And just, again, to have it around when you need it, I do recommend it. So yeah, I guess that's really it for this video. Hope everybody enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.